And Moosehead, good to see you. Rooted in gorgeous sacredness. Thank you for coming on in. Hey, Magnus, Typical Watch. Paul Holland from Australia. And Steve Stockton from KPNL, Grandmaster, Solar Warden, J1, you're looking beautiful tonight. Steel City Coach, good to have you here. Love the CFL logo, my friend. Rock on. I am a Lions fan. I hope you're not a Riders fan. Mondak, how you doing? The Rich Hilke is here, everyone. Good to see you. Grantavius, nice to have you back, my friend. Tralfmador, how are you? Good to see you. Bassmaster, Yod Neil, thank you for joining our chat room. Troy's SR71, gorgeous Jenny, and Jennifer Hawkins looking lovely tonight. There's the talented and lovely Lynn Wallington, my Saturday night host. She is awesome. And we're going to get going here in about 29 seconds. Ed Clater, good to see you. And $5,900. Nice to have you here. Alan Hold, good to have you. Stephen Edmond, nice to have you come on in. I think we're caught up. A great way to support this show, everyone, is to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. The Super Chat is open. And let's rock and roll on a great show tonight, shall we? Let's do this thing right now. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Dandi Meyer is a business owner in beautiful South Africa, where she is very successful with her company, Galeo Beauty, Hair Aesthetic Nail Salon. Dandi has also studied for her PhD in Metaphysics at the University of Metaphysical Sciences. Dandi has traveled the world seeing the sights most haven't seen, but her passion and desire is to enhance her spiritual and consciousness connections with those around the universe, including extraterrestrials. Dandi Meyer, my friend, how are you? Welcome to Spaced Out Radio for the first time. We've been talking about this for at least a year now, and finally you're here. How are you?
I'm doing great. Except for the pandemic, everything is fine. It doesn't stop me from exploring the universe, no. And a lot has happened since I think we've started talking, so I've had a few extra encounters, but yes, I think it's time that humanity sees how big the universe really is and where we do come.
Now, for you, I want to go way back in time. I mean, when this first started, were you always someone interested in these topics, or did you all of a sudden have an experience that kind of led you down this path?
I would say since the age of 7, my mom said that I had weird dreams and I would say weird things that people came to speak to me, which I don't really remember that well. But I was brought up in I would say, my mom asked me to go to church. And I did go to church for very long, but, you can't speak about aliens and stuff like that in the society that I was brought up. It's quite a taboo topic here. It's not like in Canada where you can just speak freely about things. People do question everything. And I just knew that there's something, it's something that I knew my entire life. And I looked at the stars at a very young age. I studied the stars and how solar systems are formed and, always thought that there must be life on other planets. And I didn't question it. I just knew it has to be that way. And then 2013, I had my first, I would say, encounter of the fifth kind, where I would say it's something that I really remember very, very clearly. It's not like a dream or anything. And it did, except for the other things that happened since 2012, it did give me quite an awakening as to how you can make contact with these beings from different solar systems and even different universes, that you can actually not just be abducted, but you can make contact again. So it just shows you that we have a huge universal family that's on the lookout for all of us. I don't think it's just subjected to me. I feel like I'm very lucky to have had such an experience. But people should open up themselves for something like that, and I think then it happens.
Now, for you, Dandi, as you had that first experience in 2013, which is weird because mine happened in 2014, so we're pretty close together with that. Did you try and make contact, or did this come right out of the blue for you?
Came quite out of the blue. First, it felt like I was under. Must I tell you how it happened, or would you like to?
Yes.
Can I
go right into detail?
I started astral projecting, having out of body experiences that from 2012 that I could say was the real hardcore, like when you physically leave your body, not just in a dream state, when you actually, your body's still awake, but your soul, your astral body leaves your body. And it didn't happen too short after that. So it's almost like it was a precursor for the abduction to happen. So when you reach a certain state of consciousness, it seems that you are open for alien abduction. So I think that's what triggered it, first of all. It was about a year after that. And then I can remember the craft. I remember leaving the planet. I remember being very drowsy, almost like I had medicine or something, or anesthesia. I don't know what it was, but I felt my body felt paralyzed. And eventually, when I got to this planet, it was almost like a warp drive. I don't know if it was going at the speed of light or how quickly this thing went, but I went onto the Alpha Centauri solar system because that's where they told me I was, and it seems to be the closest sun to ours. Whether they took my physical body or my astral body, I'm not sure up to today. It felt like I would say it felt like my physical body because I was feeling so paralyzed, and they even helped me to walk when I left the ship. And they gave me a symbol to use for telepathy and many other reasons for metaphysical purposes. And the beings didn't look like those grey aliens that you guys always talk about. They were quite tall. They had blue eyes, but they were very robotic as well. So I knew it wasn't a human being that I was dealing with here. And also because they don't speak with the mouth, they speak like with their mind directly. It's so weird. It's so profound. And the love that you feel when you look at those beings, it's just not, I've never felt something like that on planet Earth. And then obviously afterwards, the telepathic communication that happened led me to study metaphysics because I was open to this world I couldn't understand. And the only way I could find answers was to actually study metaphysics. And the University of Metaphysical Sciences in California helped me very much with achieving that, to reconnect with those beings and to write my entire thesis on this alien abduction thing and how humans can make contact. So that is actually what drove me to study metaphysics. It's very emotional to encounter things like this. And obviously once the one door is open, the other one opens. And then you start encountering quite numerous type of things that happens. So that's part of the fun of being a metaphysician. Once you make yourself available out there, I think a few things will spot you out there in the universe, especially if you do astral traveling. And then you kind of just take it as it comes. I think a lot of people are terrified because they don't really remember everything, or there are some scenes that were cut out of my memory deliberately. I don't know what they did with me, but I feel like it's the beauty in participating in something like that. And it's to be open to something like that, and also to teach others on how to do or achieve something like that, because it's really within all of us. That's who we really are. We're universal. We're not just from this planet. That's what I really believe.
When you had that experience with those extraterrestrials, what type of species were you dealing with? Did they let you see them?
Yes, that was the Alpha Centaurians.
So what do they look like?
They look human-like, but they look very robotic. Like they've got machine here. It's like lots of machines. So, and they speak telepathically, and they can tap into your mind like I can't even explain. I've never seen any. I've dealt with a few good shamans and psychics, but I've never, like, there's nothing as strong as the connection of an extraterrestrial. I mean, it's just the technology that they have, the love that they make you feel. They look, that's the thing. It's like almost like I don't know if it's called a humanoid or a half robot, half man type of thing. I've tried to Google on the Alpha Centaurians, and it seems that there is a habitable planet close to Alpha Centauri. But whether there's robots there or not, I don't know. I wouldn't want to call them robots. I feel it's a bit disrespectful, as they've got very powerful consciousness. And after that, I saw a reptilian. I've seen reptilians, and I've seen a grey. Well, 3 greys before. The greys are quite creepy. No offense to anybody that I have a lot of contact with them, but they look very weird. They've got very big black jelly-like eyes, but the Alpha Centaurians, definitely my favorite.
Now, for you, when you go back to 2013 and you had this experience, Dandi, pardon me, did you what leading up to that night when it happened? What did you go through? Did you go to bed at the same time? Was everything normal and then it just happened, or did you feel something was brewing?
Since the moment in 2012 where I had a physical experience under hypnosis, where my astral body left my physical body, things weren't the same after that, and I could feel something was coming. I just didn't know it would be so profound and so huge. I mean, for me, it's the biggest experience I've ever had in my life. It's definitely life-changing, and it was, maybe, if I can remember correctly, it was a summer night. I went to bed, and the next moment I can just remember speaking to this person next to me and leaving the planet, and I knew exactly what was going on. And it's almost like you very like someone's given you 30 calming tablets, you know. It's like you're just observing. You can just see everything happening, but you're very calm. And I can remember that I tried to look at, you know, if I could see our planet, if I could see the other solar systems, like, you know, you would think you would see nebulas and all of that. And then the weird thing is, the person that I went in the craft with, I couldn't see on the left. It's like they deliberately cut out a piece of black. Like, I just couldn't remember that person. But what I can remember is when I saw the first Alpha Centaurian, and then he said that this was meant to happen and that it's a project and everything. And that I asked him, where am I? He said, I'm the sun closest to our sun. That's all I remember him telling me. And when I Googled it, it's the Alpha Centauri solar system. And they took me into a thing that looked like I wouldn't say a lab, but it was very enclosed. And then they asked me, like, it's not like a meeting or anything, but it's a very strange thing. Then they did something with my body. I can't even believe that I'm saying this on radio. It's kind of weird, but they did do something on an energy level with my body. It was quite painful. I don't know why they did it up to today. Some things I don't have answers for, but it did take my mind to the next level. If it wasn't for that experience, I don't think I'd be able to do metaphysics. I don't think I'd be able to tap into people's dreams, into past lives, do astral traveling. If it wasn't for those beings that showed me the way, I don't think I would have been who I am today. It's very strange. It's almost like they helped me. I don't know. It's like opening your third eye to the next level.
Dandi, did they ever tell you why they came for you?
They said that I've agreed with it. So it's almost like, I don't know if it was maybe before I came to Earth or something, I don't know. And that it's part of they just kept on saying about this project and that I will understand in time. And then they showed me a symbol and they kept on showing me the symbol. And I was like, we don't have this in our mathematical, you know, we don't have this in maths. We don't have this in geometry. I don't know why they're showing me this symbol because I didn't understand symbols back then. And just to find that it's arcane symbols, and it's weird. It's symbols that people use to tap into minds and to do telepathy, and it's quite powerful. And I think it's given to people that want to reconnect to those beings. And they also then tap into the information that I have. I think that's what they do. It's like a symbol that conveys messages, if it makes sense.
Okay, so as you are learning about this process, you have this experience. How long do you think you were gone for?
That's the thing. I've spoken to a few people about it, not that many though, but those people that are experienced in the spiritual world or even astral traveling, they say to me that they think I could have been gone longer than what if you have to take Earth time. Because if you go to another planet, it seems that it can be longer. And I remember actually looking at the planet. I remember moving around with them, and then that room that they showed me those things. And a friend did tell me, you could have been gone for at least 3 months. You would never know, but it's the time. You can't think of time as the same time as here on planet Earth. I try to forget about first when I realized what happened to me. There's no one that I could have reached out for, because people are like, sorry, you had an alien experience. It's so taboo here where I stay. It's like I couldn't speak to anyone until I started slowly but surely finding people that I could speak to about it. And then obviously the reality kicked in. They tried to make contact again, and that's when that telepathy happens, and it's so profound that you like, okay, this was definitely real. It's coming back again. And it's a very special voice. It's a very, I don't know if it's family or how I know these beings and why they chose me, but it does help on a conscious level to maybe raise consciousness on this planet. I think that is why things like this happen. So if anybody has questions on that, then I'm more than willing to answer.
Well, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions because that's kind of what I do. And I appreciate you coming on in. Our guest tonight, Dandi Meyer from South Africa. And Dandi, when they came and got you and you had this agreement, they tell you they had this agreement with you prior to your incarnation on Earth. That's not the first time we've actually heard this on this show. It seems to be quite frequent for ET contactees of multiple times. When you were on that craft, did you see other people with you, or was it just you and you alone?
There was one other person with me that did look human-like. The rest wasn't human. I just can't remember. I think somebody is going to have to... I think I must maybe have a hypnosis session or something, but there's just one part that they cut out, and I cannot, for the life of it, remember that person. I don't remember what they told him. I don't know why that person was there, but... There were two Alpha Centaurians that I can really remember very good. And the one person, I don't know if he was part of the, I don't know. I don't have a name. It's very weird. But what I can say is after that experience, I was not the same. Like if I can explain to you how my eyes have changed, my dreams have changed. If I look at things, let's say the sun is setting, I can see energy through plants. There's things that I can see that I've never used to see before. Its colors are different. It's almost like colors can speak. It's weird. It's so weird. And it has never faded. It's never stopped. So I believe it's a gift that they've given me, and I must just always use it for the good of humanity.
Now, for you had a pretty successful life going prior to this. If I'm correct, you were an international model. You were someone who was literally being shown the world and being put into situations that were very professional, very, very educated, a lot of powerful people and modeling assignments and everything. That person who you were then, how has it changed you now? I mean, I know now you're married, you have a beautiful family and everything that goes on with that, and that changes us obviously as we grow older. But spiritually speaking, or as a personal or professional level, how did it shift you?
Basically, I think before I got abducted, I was not like other people. I could have been like an outgoing, fun girl. I knew that my looks could get me places and have me things happening for me. But it does change you in the sense that you take life a little bit more serious. Like, there's consequence, there's someone watching. If I could say, I know it sounds weird to people, but there's not a moment in your life that something or someone is not watching. If I say someone, it could be an extraterrestrial. It could be a spirit guide. It could be angels. It could be anything. But every move, everything that you do is documented in the Akashic records. And I think that is what made me realize, okay, first of all, I can leave this physical body, and, we're not here for a holiday. We're not here just to use up the planet and ruin it. We're here for a very special reason, and it's not just to evolve our consciousness. We're moving into a new era. I think if I look at the Alpha Centaurians, I do believe, and I know some people don't like to hear this, but I think that humanity is heading for transhumanism. I think humans are also going to become a little bit cyborg, half robot, half. I think we're heading for that. I mean, why would I see things that are already like that on another planet, and I can see humanity's heading into that direction? And it doesn't mean we cut out spirituality. Spirituality and machines are definitely one. It's not separate. It's definitely one. And I think we need to move into that era of interstellar space traveling and, understanding that our bodies are going to change. Technology is going to become one with us, and also spirituality will not go away. It will just go to the next level. It will definitely not go away. I think people are so against this whole technology thing happening and thinking it will change their religion or their spirituality. It will not. If there's one message I can bring to humans tonight, it's basically, guys, we're heading for a brand new era in human consciousness. And there are so many different people that have got alien contacts, and I can see why. I think Earth is going to be one of those places where we're going to move from and about, and we're going to be different alien species here, and we're going to know about each other. I think we are so close to revealing that, especially now with the governments changing and all of that. We're very close to showing the world why we are really here. Don't you think, Dave?
Oh, goodness. If I had that answer, I'd be preaching it on a daily basis here. My entire contact, I have never been shown anything to do with the Akashic records. I've never been shown any reasoning. I've never had an alien pull me to the side and say, hey, this is why we chose you. Never had that. Now I'm feeling kind of ripped off, to be honest. Yeah.
Should we all...
I am serious. I'm ripped off. I'm kind of jealous of you right now.
Well, let me tell you something. The group that I have, the Orion Project, is focused on people that haven't had extraterrestrial contact or alien contact to make them have it. So I'm choosing my candidates very, very carefully. It's especially to prove to the University of Metaphysics that I'm well capable of doing that. And Dave, if you're open for that, I think you must watch what you wish for.
Well, you know what? Here's the problem. I'm on a dry spell right now. I've been on a dry spell for about a year and a half. I've had one ET abduction experience this year. And that was with Dr. Bob McGuire. He's in Alabama. Alabama is where he is in the United States. And that was a cool experience. But I can't tell you the last time I saw a UFO. I can't tell you the last time I had something really cool, like while I'm wide awake, like right now, happen. Can't tell you. It just, and I sit here and I get depressed, and it's like, come on, boys and girls on the other side or wherever you are, let's make this happen. Old Davy needs some sort of action here. And I get nothing. It's like sitting in front of a slot machine in Las Vegas, and you pull that slot handle for about an hour and a half, you get fed up, and you leave the chair, and then some old granny comes in, takes the seat, second pull, she hits $1,000. That's what it's like for me right now.
Well, let me tell you something interesting. I believe that I don't think if you've been abducted, I don't think your mind is entirely your own mind anymore. So if you're wondering if you can make contact with aliens, I don't know, maybe, I'm sure you've spoken to a few on your talk show. You should think about
that. Could be. Some people I do question. Like my Saturday host, Lynn Wallington, I question her. Question her very, very much. She's a weirdo that way, and I'm happy that she's a good weirdo. Dandi, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to commercial break here at the bottom of the hour. Dandi Meyer is joining us all the way from South Africa, where she's battling lions, elephants, and crocodiles right outside her door. Literally, she told me that earlier, but it was a good conversation. And I'll tell you, we're also talking aliens, ET contact, consciousness, maybe a little astral travel, and a dabbling just a dabbling on our higher selves mixed in for good measure. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. That's a solid first half hour there. Solid first half hour. Now remember, our YouTube channel can't. People can hear us right now. It's only the radio side that can't.
Okay. So you want to talk about the higher self? Because if you're going to go live now, I've got quite a good experience with my higher self. If you want to ask a few questions on that, I'm more than willing.
We'll get into that. We can do that. I know how.
You know, Dave, it's. I never thought I would say this to the world. I never thought I would come to this point where I would actually speak, it's very, I found a lot of comfort in my university because I could just write about everything that happens and they would give me feedback. They would tell me, okay, this is what you need to do next. This is how you need to record it. And they've given me so much information on how to make the best of it because they're actually dealing with people like myself on a regular basis that there's not many of us. If I look at the group, it's about 900 people that I know of the metaphysical group that are having active alien contact, like what I'm doing right now. So we share our experiences and our ways and everything. And it's like, you know what? It doesn't come and goes. Once it's there, it's there. I can still have a pizza and I'll make contact. So yes, diet is very important. It was in the beginning, but I
had pizza last night, and I feel shame. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to. I don't know pizza. I hope you have a vegetarian at least.
No, why would I do that? I would never give up bacon.
Oh, you see. Well, here in Africa, we eat. If you want to eat meat, there's good meat here.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you close to the ocean?
No. My mom is. They stay by the ocean. That's where maybe if you saw photos of me by the ocean, that was because I visited my parents. But I'm quite inland. So I'm here. You know where I stay? I stay where the first person was ever discovered.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. It's
very
called,
cool.
I don't know if it's Lucy. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. It's the first skull that was discovered here. It's called Where Humanity Started. So,
oh, very cool.
Tip of that farm where the skull was discovered.
Vinny is making fun of me, saying, "Did she just say Dave and vegetarian in the same sentence?" Yeah, apparently. Yeah, but that's okay. I
come to Canada. We should go. What's that place? Moose? What's that? The bar? Moose?
Oh, the Moose Vancouver.
Oh, Moose Vancouver. Do they have great beer?
They have great beer. Oh, yeah. I'm sure we could get the meal paid for. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No, I'm asking about great beer.
Oh, yeah. We'll get the meal paid for and we'll make sure that the beer is paid for. And the good beer. Yeah, Ash does a lot of small micros as well.
Well, Dave, I must be honest with you. I find myself in my life now that money is not really a problem. I'll have the food paid.
I don't think. Well, if you're around me and my partner and we're partying at his bar, none of us are paying. I'll tell you that. Okay. Yes, we just got to get you to Vancouver.
I'll come. Can we just have this Delta variant that just needs to eat? It's crazy what's happening in the world with this flipping virus, eh?
I know. Today is the first day that we're allowed no masks in the province.
Oh, I would give anything not to wear my mask, but I've been vaccinated, believe it or not.
I have not. I have.
And I'm sitting here, and I think there's a lot of spiritual people like, I'm not going to get vaccinated. I got vaccinated 6 weeks ago, and I'm still fine. I can count my fingers. You
didn't grow any extra toes or anything?
I still dream. I still do my thing.
All right. I think my Saturday host, Lynn Wallington, wants to have you on her show.
Oh, really? That would be great.
Yes.
I'm busy writing the Orion project, so things will get a lot more interesting in the future, especially when I reveal my people that I've chosen to have more experiences. It's not fun to learn in the world in the alien abduction scenery.
Well, let's talk privately then. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Tell you some good stuff. We got 20 seconds here before we're going to go back on the air. Thank you to Aussie Ange, Cat Chaser. We are the light for the amazing super chats. It's a great way to support what we do within the nightly basis of doing this show. Thank you to all our new subscribers, everybody tuned in so far, and of course all the veterans out there. We love you. Let's do this thing. Here comes the second half hour. Here we go with the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and on Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show. All the way from South Africa, Dandi Meyer is here. We're talking about our higher selves and what it's like to have ET contact. And we're going to talk about another quick project of hers. Dandi, welcome back. And why don't you fill us in on what the Orion project is all about?
Well, the Orion project is to select people that are from my star system that I'm aware of. Maybe they're not so aware of where they come from. And then to let them have not just spiritual experiences, but alien experiences. If I say alien, I just mean, it's the place where you actually come from and then you're here right now, but we can reintroduce you to your star family members. And it's a project to show America, the University of Metaphysical Sciences, on how it can be done effectively and to get data and information, because everything is a little bit of, I wouldn't say a lie on this planet, but it's very covered up. I don't know how to explain it. They could have shown footage of a lot of alien stuff on the news before, and they don't. So I don't understand why the world is doing this.
Well, it's something that, are you noticing a lot more people coming out into the woodwork to try and understand or discuss their encounters that they've never discussed before?
Well, first of all, when people, it's a weird thing, Dave. When you have a real alien experience, the people that have already had those experiences actually know about you. So the university composed a thing where they asked me to please report it to the CE5 initiative, basically to report that I had these experiences. And I think if more people can do that, it helps. But funny enough, people that are here, that are dealing with this right now, they know of others that are having experiences. It's like we help each other along.
Well, that's kind of good. So there's like a brotherhood, sisterhood type of connection going on. Can you, and I'll ask you this question because I always find this kind of fun. Can you look at someone and just say, oh yeah, that person's got aliens. They've had contact?
I
think you can.
Of course you can, but there's a lot more to it. I usually, how it happens is you first have a dream of that person beforehand. Well, that's what happens to me. And then you'll see them and you'll be like, this one. Yes, you do pick up people's vibes very quickly, but they also pick up yours. I mean, I've been doing lashes on this client, and she said to me, I do feel like you can't just be a lash or permanent makeup artist. There must be something more about you. I'm like, no, there's nothing. I'm just me, And she's like, no, Dandi, I think there's something that you're not telling everyone. And I'm like, no, because I don't want to talk to my community too directly about it, because it's a small town where I'm staying, and people are very into going to church and not speaking about aliens or not speaking about like higher selves or anything other than what's written in the Bible. I'm sorry to say it this way for those who are very into going to the church, but it's taboo here where I stay. So I really like live in this world where I can't really open up. But the best thing is, you pick it up with someone, and then if you really do want to spend your energy into that, the best is to make contact with that person in the astral planes and then show them that you know what they know, and vice versa. That's the best way, and I've done that before many times.
Well, you know what? I want to get into this and expand this a little bit, and talking about, creating your own higher self, because for many ET contactees, it brings you up to a plane where you just don't really understand what is, the small menial things here on Earth that we used to worry about, and now it seems so trivial you can't make sense of it anymore. So with the higher self for you, how did you change to find your higher self?
I didn't go looking for my higher self first of all, because I met my higher self before I started studying metaphysics. I didn't know that the higher self exists. Everything that happened to me, I journaled and I wrote it down, and it was so profound to see that when I started studying metaphysics, I had everything already structured, like everything was there. Like they would speak about the higher self. I'm like, sure, this is exactly what happened. It's almost like I had the experience before the actual study of metaphysics. So that's how metaphysics works. You first have all of these experiences, and then you go looking for metaphysics. So with the higher self, it happened on the 3rd of April. I think it was 2014. And I just knew it was my higher self, because it was like looking at this one being, and there was just white everywhere, and the love that came emanating out of that being, it was just insane. And she said to me, Dandi, if you cannot be with me, I will always be with you. And I thought, why would someone tell me that? Why would somebody try, be so... And obviously it didn't look like a human being. Did it look like an alien? No. Once again, it looked kind of... Sorry to say, but it looked kind of robotic once again. It was so weird. But it was very powerful. And... it's weird because I had Jesus in my mind when I was young, because that was what was taught to me. And here I meet this woman that's my higher self, that says she'll always be with me, and vice versa if I cannot be with her. And the higher self is always there with you, but you can either reach out for your higher self, or the higher self will reach out for you if you're not going onto the path that you're supposed to be.
Very true. It's funny you mention April 2014, because that's where crap really hit the fan for me, personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was April 10th, where I had a migraine driving over to a friend's house, and then I sat down on their couch when I got there because my head was killing me, and I realized after about half an hour it wasn't a migraine, but it was actually shapes pulsating in my head. It started off as a square in the front of my head, went to the right side of my head as a triangle, and then went to the left side of my head as a circle. And as soon as the pain subsided, I got hit with an anxiety attack that I had to go into their back field by the forest. And this is like 10 o'clock at night. It's dark, it's dreary, it's a low cloud night up on the mountain where they lived, and it was just one of those nights where you walk outside and you could cut the tension with a knife. And I just kind of said, out of God's peace, love, and light, you called me outside, could you show me where you are? And about 150 yards away from me, a UFO lit up on my command right on the ground. And that happened 3 times. And then 5 days later, I met a beautiful young lady named Samantha Mowat. And 25 minutes after meeting her, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We were back at the farm. I hadn't been there since that incident, and she takes me into the forest behind, and that's where we saw the 10 to 12 foot extraterrestrial, middle of the afternoon. And they invited us over. There were 2 of them. I only saw one, and Samantha was telepathically communicating with the other one, and they invited us over. And I decided to get scared and not go.
No way! How was it? Was it a tall gray alien or was it all white?
I don't. I'm gonna call it he. I don't know what it was.
Exactly.
I saw the head. I saw the very thin body, the curved neck. Did not see any hands. Did not see any legs, and didn't see any facial features. But I do know that it was tan in color, like a light coffee color, like if you put too much cream in your coffee. And then as it started to morph, I ended up seeing it in a darker tan color. So it almost went like a quarter horse or that beautiful dark brown on a giraffe, kind of like that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Didn't have clothes on?
No, nothing.
Or,
Nothing. No, it was just standing there.
see,
So
like usually they've got some type of thing that you can recognize. Maybe a symbol or I would say very strange. That's not you, but I've heard of people saying that these grey aliens, or they're like just in a body. There's nothing there.
the second one that was there was a gray type of being, except he was tan in color. And Samantha had recognized that one. And Samantha was all good to go. She's like, yeah, she actually started walking down the trail, and I begged her not to leave. Now this is going on 7 years ago now, and I still kick myself in the ass for not going. That I was lame and that I chickened out. I still kick myself in the butt. And that's why I keep putting it out there to the universe, Danny. Bring it. Let's do this thing. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Nope. No, nothing.
But you have to meditate. So you have to switch this mind off and tap into the other one, and then you'll be open for it. If I can give anybody advice, you need to. It's like not just meditation. It's a mindset of every day, and you need to not say I'm not gonna. It hasn't happened to me. Then you actually sending out that vibrational message that it's not going to happen to me because it's never happened to me. You must say that you're doing this talk show because obviously, you're affiliated with this. So I'm sure you need to open up yourself for it. It will come. You won't be doing this if it wasn't for that. So I can honestly tell you, I think there's something waiting for you in the future.
Oh, I believe it. And I just don't know when.
I know. Because this belief system must go. It's a knowing. It's a true knowing in your heart.
All right. I will let you convince me of that. And it's not the first time I've heard that this week. So
I can try to do hypnosis on you, and then we can see what happens.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Knock me out. Make it happen.
When should I return your astral body? Do you want to be the same afterwards? Now Dave is getting scared.
No, make it happen. I'm okay with that. Make it happen.
It's like cheating a little bit, doing hypnosis, because it's very easy once you're in a professional's hands. They make it happen. Oh yes, quicker than you think.
Now, can you do that from South Africa if I'm here in Canada?
I can try, but the best would be is to physically, have you in front of me. It's the easiest to put you under hypnosis. I would also ask you to wear headsets and then systematically shut down your physical body and then see how quickly we can get that astral body out. But it's not difficult. Everybody has an astral body. Everybody is capable of astral projecting. And that's the easiest and quickest way to make a door open for you that you can't really close afterwards. That's the only thing. So once you take that route, that door is going to be open for the rest of your life.
See, that's what I thought too. And it died off.
Really?
Died off.
Aww.
Like I used to get like astral travelers coming to my house. Haven't had that in months.
You see people that astral travel.
Yeah.
In my physical.
Yeah, I mean, the last time that happened, Bob McGuire and I were on the phone, and I showed him where to look in his own yard, and he could see a shadow of a person standing by a tree outside his window. And that was kind of cool. But the aspect of like even paranormal stuff, I haven't had it happen in a long time. So I think, and this is my thinking of it, I think they are leaving me alone, and this being truthful here for a second, because I work a lot, and I don't have a lot of time, and therefore I think they are being respectable to what I am going through right now on a work sense, because I work a full-time job during the day. I come home, I have dinner, I got 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then I'm right into the studio getting ready for the show. So I think they've kind of given me a break on that, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, screw the break. Let's make this happen. Let's make it happen.
Okay, Dave, can I ask you, do you remember your dreams?
Only when I'm taken.
You see, sometimes they can come visit you, but you need to go into the habit of allowing your subconsciousness to go into your conscious mind and allowing yourself to remember your dreams. It's such a simple thing that you can start practicing by just writing down for 21 days, I remember my dreams. Because you don't just sleep at night. A lot of stuff happens. And I would say the average person out there, maybe 20% of the people out there remember fully what they've dreamt about. And there's such a lot of things happening in the dream mind. I'm not talking about just your dream mind in your brain. I'm talking about when your astral body leaves your body. You go to higher planes, you go visit ETs, you go visit even people that have died or people that you're still going to meet in your future. You need to remember your dreams, Dave, because once you can just go into that habit, then other stuff will happen and you'll actually see how magical your sleep life is. You need to tap into that. Even though you're busy during the day, be conscious of your dreaming. Okay.
Damn it, I hate when you're right. I hate it when people are right. That's just terrible. Just terrible. Gonna make me do something here that I'm... Yeah, okay. I'll agree to that.
A dream journal. A simple dream journal and then affirmations every day, 21 days in a row. I remember my dreams, and you're going to see a lot of things happening for you.
Okay. I'll give you that. I'll try it. I'll put a notepad by my book today. My audience will hold me accountable for that because they're very good about that, and I'm pretty much I'll commit to that, and then we'll bring you back on, and we'll make you get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. By the way, what were you doing up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
First went to go take a bath and meditate on what we're going to talk about today. And after a long bath, then I got ready, and then I saw, sure, it's like almost 5 o'clock. Couldn't believe the time.
All right.
I'm a bath.
I'm sorry?
I like bathing.
Me too. Me too.
Just floating and thinking about things.
Yes. I meditate in the shower, where I will usually turn the shower on, not at this time of year because it's been terribly hot, but normally I will turn the shower on as hot as I can take it, and I will actually sit my butt down in the shower and just kind of cross my legs, put my hands up, and I will meditate while relaxing and waking up in the morning.
Sure.
That's what I do.
I think if I have to sit like that in the shower and my son walks in, he's going to be like, Mommy, what are you doing?
Right. We have 5 minutes to go before we have to go to a break at the top of the hour. Dandi Meyer is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. There's always people listening to this show, Dandi, who want to make ET contact. They've never seen a UFO. They've never had ET contact. They've heard all the stories. They want their own experience. How do you create your own experience?
The intention has to be there. I know some people... You don't really have to have the intention, and it still happens because it's predestined to happen. But if your intention is there, the rest will follow. It's as simple as that. Like with you, Dave, your intention is so there. It's crazy. Your intention is there. Your intention is set. So any person that's curious, so what I would say is that, like that saying of what you seek is seeking you, that saying of Rumi. It's as simple as that, and then you work on that. Every time you feel a strange feeling of, I want to connect, I want to know more. That's a calling that's also echoed through the universe that wants you to go through that. You must just take it further, and you must not forget about it and work on that. Work on that feeling, and then it will grow.
How did
It will manifest.
How did you learn this?
Well, like I said, I was born this way of knowing that there's something out there, but I didn't really go looking for it. It's just I had this feeling of, I knew it was coming. Like it was weird. I didn't know I was going to be abducted in such a hectic way. I just knew that I would see something one day, or maybe experience something. I didn't know it would happen the way it was going to happen. It totally blew my mind the way it all happened. It's very special.
How often?
Because obviously,
go ahead.
We planned it as well. It's not like it just happens. Oh, let's pick this one. I'm sure it was planned way before I even was born. And that officer did tell me that he waited a very long time for this moment. So that was quite special to have that knowing in my heart that that alien being was waiting for me to make contact. Well, not to make contact, to be abducted.
How often are you taken?
Well, believe it or not, during lockdown, I've never really had encounters of what I remember. Apparently, another psychic told me that I've been abducted quite a few times. I just don't remember. And I'm a person that I need to remember something. I cannot validate anything if I don't remember something. I need to work on my memory. So what I can remember is that I was taken by these people, and, well, I thought it was people, but they were wearing a face covering. And I still said, hey, man, what's going on with this thing? And I pulled it open, and I saw this reptilian face. Like, it was looking like a reptile. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was ugly. It's just so different. And the teeth was quite sharp, very sharp. And once again, people are scared of reptilians. I felt a lot of love also coming, but they're very naughty. They're almost like, I don't know, they laugh a lot, and they're very like, I think they're naughty. I don't know how to say it. Then I spoke to that same person I saw with the Alpha Centaurians, and then I jolted back to planet Earth. So that was a complete astral travel experience. It wasn't like the Alpha Centaurians that took me on a craft. This was in the astral planes that I saw these beings. And they asked me when I wanted to go back, they're like, just think of any place in Africa. And I'm like, Namakwaland. And then I jolted back to that. It's a place close to where we stay. And then I was here again. And it's weird how they work with you. It's weird how they make contact. The thing with the Greys, that only happened once. I can just remember seeing these weird, like, high technology things that they would, I don't know what they were showing me or doing. But when I looked at this person showing me, I saw, whoa, what's wrong with his face? And I could see like these weird black eyes. And I was like, I thought, yo, am I having a dream? Is this a dream? And then I realized in my dream that I'm awake in my dream. And how can this be a dream? And I couldn't stop looking at them. And they're very, I don't know, it's not a very good looking, it's very weird. It's not like us, it doesn't have a nose, it's got a weird mouth, very big eyes. And it was scary. It wasn't comforting, no.
What, the Grey or the Reptilian?
The Reptilians I liked them. They were like naughty boys. I don't know how to explain it. They were funny. They did speak to me about something that I can't really remember. But I remembered walking with them, and especially when I grabbed the one, I'm like, you're going to show me your face right now? And I was like, whoa.
Look at you getting all tough.
Yeah.
Ready to kick butt and take names there on them aliens there.
It seems that those reptilians also come from the Orion constellation, so maybe I know them, maybe I don't. It's just weird that I'm seeing beings that are all associated with the Orion constellation.
Me too.
Oh, great.
Me too. Yes, I am very familiar with the Orion constellation. And if you look in between on the belt, about an inch below the belt at about 5 o'clock, you'll see a very faint star. You'll be able to figure it out.
I will.
We'll leave you with that mystery. How about that?
Thank you for sharing that with me.
All right. Dandi Meyer is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, all the way from South Africa, where we are talking ET contact. What's the experience like? How do you know if you've been taken or that they're reaching out to you? Are you open-minded enough to make it happen for you? Let's find out with Dandi in hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio coming up next. All right, we are clear. I'm just going to step away for a couple of minutes here. We got about 6 minutes, so if you want to take a quick break, I'll meet you back here in a couple of minutes. Or if you want to hang out and if you want to hang out and just chat with the people, you can do that too.
Dave, I wanted to say that alien contact is there for a reason. It's there because you need to. It's not just for fun. It's not just like meeting a friend or anything. They want you to do something.
I know.
So you got this responsibility after making alien contact, and people need to take it seriously.
We'll get into that when we come back. I'll be right back, okay? I'm going to mute your mic. Go like that. Be right back, sweetie. All right, guys, hold on. All right, I am back.
Dave,
Yes.
I would like to share with you, those who are keen on just going a little bit deeper into the subject. My doctorate, I had to select 10 books that I can use as reference of my thesis. But yeah, I think when we go live, I can share some of them with you. Just a quick show.
Sounds perfect. We can definitely do that. Definitely do that. It is Dandi, not Danny. Dandi, Dandi. All right. We've got about 90 seconds here. 90 seconds. Good morning, good evening to you, Hector. How are you? Ibarata in Singapore, good to have you doing. And my good friend, the gorgeous and talented Minister Elaine is back. Welcome. I love my audience. They are amazing. Amazing people. Snakes on a UFO Snakester, welcome back. All right. Well, it's Noble Patrick. Good to see you. Super Ben from UFO Garage. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Dandi Meyer is our guest. Want to say a big thank you to Ozzy Ange, to Cat Chaser, and We Are the Bright for the amazing super chats tonight. Really do appreciate that. And you know, we love it. And if you guys have any questions for Dandi, I'll start taking them here in about a minute or two after the introduction to the show, or reintroduction to the show, and we'll make it happen there. All right, here we go.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Here we go with hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Athesiogenic. Athesiogenic is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with Dandi Meyer. What is it like to live a life of ET contact? She's all the way from South Africa. We're glad to have her here. And good morning to you, Dandi.
Okay, guys. The next thing I want to share with you guys is a few books that I find quite interesting on extraterrestrials. Has humanity confused the idea of God with memories of ET contact? This book on The Scars of Eden of Paul Wallace is really, really good about ET contact and how people sometimes confuse the thing with God and ETs. It's quite common if you start realizing how the universe works. Awakening to the Fifth Dimension is a very good read. I think Dave will like this book, Selected by Extraterrestrials, Volume 2. This is quite nice. And then Maverick Vardogger's The Vibrational State, which actually shows you the state you need to be in and what you can expect from astral traveling and having that state of mind. I think it's all about being in a certain frequency. So once you start vibrating at a certain level, it just opens up this whole new world that you can tap into. You can see aliens, you can make contact with them. It's all about getting that vibrational state in your mind, your subconscious, merging with your conscious mind to open you up for these type of experiences.
All right. Let's go to an audience question right here. NA is asking, Dandi, how common is it for people to have ET past lives?
Oh, very. As a metaphysician, I've tapped into my past lives. It's those memories are not from Earth. I mean, it's common people to have ET past lives, definitely. You remember the planet looked a lot different back in the days, but I don't think so. There are dreams that come up. That's why it's so important, Dave, to have a dream journal, because you can tap into those memories, into those past lives. Past life regression is real, and it's a very powerful tool to use to open, maybe connect to those ET family members, or even to go into further dimensions.
All right. Fullerine is asking, as you mentioned, aliens were funny. Do they express humor?
A lot.
How?
People think they're standing there and they've got these big eyes. No, they've got love, they've got humor. They're definitely funny. Well, some of them are. I wouldn't say all of them, but some of them are.
See, that's the first I've actually heard that. Because from what I know of extraterrestrials, they are very down to business. And it's hard to kind of understand their own thinking because they're so far ahead of us. Mentally, spiritually, everything. So that kind of makes me curious.
I'll give you an example. If you see an alien or an ET or a celestial being, which I've also seen, there's a past connection, like you would if you meet your soulmate. If you meet your soulmate, you get this instant feeling of, I know this person, I love this person. It's the same with ETs. You meet them and it's like you know them, so you immediately connect with their humor or even their seriousness. But something that we laughed about was the bodies that we had. And it was funny to see the being in that body, and the being found it funny to see me with this physical body. So I think that's where our humor started, and we laughed at our experience, our life experience that we're having right now.
Really?
So there's nothing. Yes. It wasn't like a long laugh, but it was a quick, oh, there you are. Look at you. Type of thing.
Grantavius is asking, did you get the impression that they incorporated AI and nanotechnology within their bodies?
Yes, they've got technology that we can't even, we can dream about it, but we don't have it happening here. It's insane technology. It's so advanced. It's so, I don't know, it's like you can understand if you see the way they do things, the way they, first of all, when they get you, I mean, how do they take you to another planet? They've got technology that NASA doesn't even know about. Or maybe NASA does know about it, they're trying to work on it, but they've got technology that's just, and when I saw that Alpha Centaurian, I tried to understand how that body works, because it doesn't have lungs, it doesn't have a body like we've got, flesh and blood. So obviously that piece here where it's human, it's all not human, it's flesh and blood, and the rest is machine. I was thinking, is it painful? Is it just, how does it feel? Does that person have feelings like we do? And it seems like they do. They still have their mind. They still have the way they do things. It's just they've got bodies, and I think they live longer. Maybe they can space travel better than what we can with our physical bodies. So, but I do think humanity is heading into that direction where we need to change our bodies like they have. And it becomes, you can tap into the other person's mind. You can space travel. You can change your body if it needs to be changed. I don't know, but it's definitely, it's insane. It feels like planet Earth is very, sure, I don't know how to say it. It's like we're down, we need to do a lot of stuff still to get there where we need to be at. So we're not that much evolved yet. You definitely notice that when you have an alien encounter. It's quite profound.
Very true. I would definitely agree with that. Vinny is asking, do you think there are aliens on the moon?
Yes. Yes, I know there's aliens on the moon.
How do you know?
I've made contact. there's an entire thing on the moon happening. I don't know if it's true that it's just on the one side of the moon that we cannot see from here, or if it's underground operations. But I think the moon is just a observatory or a place where I think the moon's very busy. So I think that with the moon landings and everything, obviously NASA didn't say everything to humanity about what's happening there. What alien species are busy operating on the moon, I'm not too sure as to exactly if they just, you get clones. Alien clones. You don't just get aliens and that's an alien. It could be a clone from an alien species. I think there's clones on the moon, like a lot of clones doing work. That's my opinion.
Armando is asking, Dandi, have you astrally traveled to other parts of the universe, and what's out there?
One of my most profound experiences that I've had is I've gone so far that the noises of the sun, of suns, solar systems, it makes like a humming, like a woo, woo, woo. And the further I went, the more intense this vibration became in my ears or in my mind. So much that I didn't even know how I was going to get back. But obviously you're attached to your body with your silver cord and you jolt back to your physical body whenever you want to. But I've pushed the limits. And spaces when you don't have your friends with you, I would call them my friends, it's quite a dark and lonely place. But you can jolt out of the universe quite quickly. One thing that I want to still do is I want to slowly astral travel through our planets that we have just in our solar system. Because I have gone out of our universe. I just want to really go slowly past our own planets. I haven't gotten that right yet, but I want to do that. That's one of mine. Because astral traveling is a lot like normal travel. You go to a place and then you get caught up in that place and that situation, and then you forget about the actual plan and what you wanted to do. And then you get caught up in a specific experience. And then you come back and then you reflect back on that and then you think, okay, next time I need to do this. Also, when you astral travel, you use a lot of your kundalini energy. It's an energy that vortexes around through your body. And that energy can become depleted. So when I astral travel, I can feel very tired for maybe, let's say, a week. I can become disorientated or nauseous, just like what Dave said he felt at some times when he had weird experiences. You do get that sense of you need to recharge. So it's not just like I can go every night and can go do this. You need to plan your flight. You need to plan and sit down. Okay, this is my intention. This is what I want to do. And then you can save your astral energy for good astral travels.
Greco is asking, have any of the abductions left you physically exhausted?
Emotionally, because you don't really have a lot of people that you can talk to. You need to deal with it personally in yourself. So you need to understand why it happened. That's the big thing in the mind, is that you can carry on for months on end, hammering yourself on why did it happen, because sometimes you come back with not truly understanding what the intention of those beings were. They could have said a few things to you and the rest is for you to figure out. So it's so weird that they leave you with a question mark. They really do. But they also encourage you to go deeper into your subconscious and deeper into your soul. And if it wasn't for ET contact, I wouldn't be doing this. I promise you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. My entire metaphysics is based on ET contact, astral traveling, and making contact with ETs. I wouldn't say it out in the public like that, but that's actually what it boils down to.
Fullerine is asking, does Earth's magnetic field prevent us from being able to communicate with them or play any role in this for that matter?
No. As a matter of fact, our magnetic crystal grid system that we have, the crystals and the magnetic or auric fields that surround the planet, you can tap into that to enhance your communication. So there's ley lines on the planet and magnetic ley lines. You can stand at certain spots that is supercharged, super amped. You can get your physical body and your astral body charged, and you can make better contact. Planet Earth is here. She's here for us to use her resources to enhance our consciousness, if it makes sense. So Planet Earth is not preventing us from making ET contact at all. As a matter of fact, there's portals. We have so many portals here on this Earth. Some of them are open constantly. Some of them open and close. Some of them change. There are portals in the sea. There's portals in the sky. There's portals through plants or trees even. There are portals here. Like I've seen quite a few. Earth is not preventing us from making ET contact, no.
Sounds good. All right. Mr. Torrance is asking, to ask you about your dietary lifestyle. Has it changed since you made contact? And did they tell you to eat certain things? Like, what are people supposed to be eating today?
Well, if I eat meat, I used to eat a lot of meat because I did bodybuilding and I tried to have a lean, not bodybuilding like muscular, but a physique, fitness model physique. You go on this chicken or beef diet, and yeah, if I have meat now, my throat closes up. I can't breathe. I get an allergic reaction to meat. People would call it an allergic reaction, but I know deep within myself why it's really happening. It's because my astral body doesn't need that energy to break it down, and it's almost like I just can't have meat, although I'm sometimes in the mood to have meat. It's almost like you don't want meat after you've had these experiences, because that's the way your astral energy has changed your body. And alcohol, like drinking drinks, makes me very sick. Whereas in the past, I could handle my drinks. I can't do it anymore today. That has changed in me. So it changes you, definitely.
Except beer.
I can try drink beer, but I know how I'm going to become.
NA is asking, have any of the extraterrestrials you've been in contact with talked to you about disclosure?
Yes.
What did they tell you?
Centaurians told me about something that's going to happen on this planet, and I went into shock. So I started screaming and crying, and that actually was the part of the experience that I haven't said to you guys yet, but it was quite scary, and I didn't want to come in terms with it. So when I started studying metaphysics, it came clear to me that it is true, and that is why we are here. They call us star seeds or star beings. I don't know, for those of us that can travel to our past, or not our past, our alien contacts. They said that the planet needs to change, and it needs to change fast. And there are things, the thing is that needs to change the mind. And the fact that we are eating meat and doing what we're doing, it causes a low vibration. And we're not focusing on the things that we really need to be focusing on. So they want us to change. They really do. And the planet Earth is in a SOS situation at the moment. So a lot of life is dying out. And like I said, I do see a different future for humans. It's not very human. It's more transhumanism. And that can mean that we will be maybe using the Earth's resources to a point where it's not going to look like planet Earth anymore. That's just something that we also need to understand. And maybe if we see nature, appreciate it for what it is today, because I'm not so sure if it's going to be the same in the future. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know.
Eugene is asking, Dandi, what is your technique for out-of-body travel?
Oh, that's a great question. Basically, I would wait for the sign, like I would feel this tingling on my forehead. Then I know, okay, my kundalini, my astral body is amped up. So you feel vibrations. It's like little vibrations everywhere in your body. And that's a sign that your astral body is giving your physical body that, hey, you need to take some time because I'm ready to astral travel. And then when you lie down comfortable, preferably, you know what, in a place where you feel safe, where nobody can bother you, like maybe a lazy boy chair or your bed. I do most of my things in my bed because I get knocked out completely once I leave my astral body. You just wait for those pulses to become more and more and more, and don't move a finger, don't move any part of your body. It eventually becomes a little bit painful, and then you can feel the separation happening from your astral body leaving your physical body. And then, once you've mastered that technique of just letting the vibrations be, it becomes stronger very, very quickly. So I would say just lie down and focus on those vibrations. You can keep your eyes open or closed. I close my eyes because when you close your eyes, once your astral body starts moving out, you can see 360 degrees in your room. So that's how you know you're busy shifting out of your physical body as well. It's because you just see everything different and everything becomes luminous. So for me, it's easy, but if I can just tell people, just lie still and listen to binary tones if you're not into the vibrational state yet. You can listen to those frequencies that start activating the astral body.
Very cool. Very cool. Dandi Meyer is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Joe is asking, what is the most common alien seen in South Africa?
Oh, my children are talking about a pink alien that they see in their dreams. I haven't seen that pink alien yet, and my friends don't speak about aliens, so I'm not so sure, but I believe that everybody has their own alien kind that they see. So it depends on which star system you come from that sent you here on Earth. It can be, it's not specific, it's not like Africa sees these aliens. No, I can go to Canada or I can go to South America and I will still see the Alpha Centaurians. I don't have to be in South Africa or in Africa to see a certain type of alien. I did hear that there's a lot of alien activity happening in the region where we're staying from a good friend of mine that's a hypnotherapist. She said I must be on the lookout for that. But how I justify that, I cannot tell you. I'm not too sure. People don't talk about it too much here.
Do you know when contact is going to happen?
Well, if I think back about it, you do sense a little bit of an excitement inside of your body that you know something's coming, but you cannot pinpoint it. It's like you feel good about yourself. You're definitely in a good mood. You're in a good place, in a good spot, and you've got excellent dreams. And then if your dreams become clearer and clearer and clearer, then the one night something will happen that you'll say, sure, but that wasn't a dream. You know that wasn't a dream. And then it builds up. So I don't know. You don't really know when it's coming, but when it comes, you know when it happens. I don't know how to say it. You can't call upon it. I hear that what Dave says you can call UFOs. I've never done that before, but I have heard of many people that can do it. So for me, I just use my symbol that they've given me, and that's how I make direct contact.
Greco is asking, have you ever had glimpses into a possible future of yours or others?
Yes, many times.
What do you get to see?
Okay, first of all, when I travel, like I would have dreams of how the place used to look like in the past. You know, when the civilization was very ancient, rivers that were clear, and then you would see the future dreams. That's the only problem with future dreams is I'm not so sure if it's all from this planet. So the technology would look advanced and everything would be advanced. If I have to look at myself, even things look different. But I just don't know if it's from here, though. That's the only problem.
Could it be a different dimension?
No, not just a different dimension. Maybe a different planet. I'm not so sure. But I'm saying future because I know we don't have that technology yet. So it could be that I'm mistaken a past life memory with a future, or maybe, I don't know. Listen, if you look at Albert Einstein's theory about how time, space, and everything works, I might see it as a memory. It could be something that's waiting for me in the future. It's very difficult in the astral planes to really pinpoint an exact time, date. It's an estimate of when something can happen. It's not like you can definitely say, hey, this is the year 1960, I'm standing here. I haven't gone into that where I can definitely tell you, yes, that it's happening this year. What has happened to me before is this Delta variant that went through India. I had a vision of people being wrapped in cloth and ready to be burned. So I thought, why would I dream about this? I was standing in the room and it was very devastating. Just like 3-4 days later, I saw on the news what was happening in India with all those bodies being burned. And I had that exact vision in my dreams of those people, a lot of people dying like that and being wrapped in white cloth and being burnt as for the funeral with this COVID thing. So there's a lot of things that you can tap into for the future. Oh, yeah. Wait, I've seen one thing that I know is on planet Earth. I saw stuff coming out of the sky that went through tiered through the dimension of our sky. And it was just hanging like above, I don't know how, I would say maybe about like 200 meters above the ground. And it looked like massive steel pods, but massive. Like, I don't know if it's spacecraft. I don't think it's spacecraft. I think it's something that the aliens put here to send out one big frequency, like maybe a big sound or something. I don't know why they would do that, but that is a vision of the future that I had that was very scary. I don't know if it's still going to happen. I'm just saying this. Maybe it will, but this is a weird thing that I've experienced.
All right, Dandi, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. We are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. ET Contact, your questions as we continue on with Dandi Meyer all the way from South Africa, breaking down what it's like to have extraterrestrial contact. Can you have it for yourself? Why not? Put the intentions out there. Make it happen. Everything comes with good vibes. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio right after this. All right, we're clear. You having fun yet?
I can't believe I'm saying this to the whole world. It's quite crazy.
Hey, tell me about it. I do it nightly.
Oh, well, I think it needs to happen one time or the other. But Dave, hey, we need to sort you out with your experiences, hey?
Yes, I'm a difficult case. Believe it or not to sound like totally out there, I've actually had a lot of people over the years try and break into my case and try and read me, and they continue to get shut down by the spiritual side. They won't let them in. They get so far, and then everybody's told, yeah, that's as far as we're going to let you go. It's kind of cool.
Okay. Do you want it to be like that?
Oh, no. I want to know what's going on.
Well, then I think there's a mixed up thing there. So just by you physically telling me that's your intention, that's sort of like making an agreement with me saying that that's what you want. So I can't see how any spiritual being can block me from doing something if you physically told me that's what you want.
Well, we'll make it happen.
Oh, well.
We'll make it happen, for sure. For sure. I have no problem with that. Sorry, I'm just saying hi to people who came into the chat room. Let's see. This has been great so far. Thank you for doing this.
It's funny how people would see people like me being crazy when I see that people that are normal, that are not experiencing these things, I also find crazy. If you know what I mean.
There's a lot of crazy out there. Are any of us really crazy? You know, maybe Lynn from the Saturday night show. Maybe Lynn. But, you know.
Is he crazy?
Oh, Lynn, she is she's a weirdo. I love her. I'm going to be honest. I love Lynn. I just like bugging her.
Sure. I would give anything. You know what? I would give anything to one day sit at this big round table with all the metaphysicians around the world, and there's quite a few people that I would like to have join in on the conversation. But yeah, that's just that would be cool. With those people.
The problem is half of them are full of shit.
You think so?
Oh, totally. You know what? The one thing that I have been gifted in this weird life is, like, I'll never say it on the air because somebody gives me their time. I will never bash them on the air. You know, because so many podcasters now in this field, they don't care whose heart they break. And time is a very, very finite thing. And when someone gives you their time, whether it's a guest, whether it's a listener, you have to entrust that time and invest that time wisely, because it's not fair if someone gives you their time and you're going to treat it like garbage. And, you know, not every guest I have on here I actually fully believe, but I'll never say that on the air. I let the guests sink or swim on their own. You know, I mean, the audience is smart enough to be able to tell what is real and what is fake. And not that I promote fake information on this show, but what my reality is different from someone else's reality. And sometimes you can tell when somebody is maybe exaggerating a little bit too much. And I only say this because I do believe with what you're going in the whole Orion thing. I get that. I get that very, very clearly. But for some of the people that are out there, I won't even have them on the show. I won't, because I can look at them and you read their messages or their posts on social media, and you're just like, yeah, that person's full of shit. Let's just stay away from that one. I get a very, very good, clear picture of that.
You know what, David? It's like, that's why it's very hard to tell people that I've been abducted by aliens. It's such a hard thing for me to do. I'm comfortable with my university, sharing everything and anything. But I was like shaking before I had to do this, because I'm thinking, wow, there are going to be people listening to this show that I know they have never seen aliens. They've never, like you've seen a UFO, they haven't seen these things. They maybe have never even had a spiritual encounter. So I'm trying to think, how must life be like that for them? So they must think, what are these people on about? But surely it leaves a mark. It leaves a question, like, why would somebody say that? Why would somebody talk about aliens? Why would people won't just do things for no reason? So there's definitely a reason behind that. If people can just see that there's substance to this, that more than they could ever imagine.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to hold on right there, because here we go.
Okay.
We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. Want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with Dandi Meyer, our guest. She is all about ET contact, astral travel, finding your best consciousness ever. Ever. Dandi, welcome back.
Yeah, I think it would be bad if you leave this life without saying, you know what, I've had a few, not just I rode my bike or I jumped off a cliff, you must say, I've been abducted, or I've made contact, or I've met my spirit guides, or, there must be a few ticks in the spiritual box as well, I think. And besides, I personally think the spiritual box is the big one, because that is really who we truly are. And we're not just our physical bodies, we're something more than that. Sorry, Dave, there was a last book, the government's UFO disclosure plan, Managing Magic. This is very interesting, this book, if you look at...
That's Grant Cameron's.
Yes. What a great book as well, for those who want to delve into this subject.
We got to get... I'm going to hook up an interview between you and Grant. You would love him.
Oh, they're good.
Oh, yeah, he's like my hero. He's like my hero. So, anyways, I got a question here from the audience, because a number of people are asking, do you have a website or a YouTube channel where you share your information, or you're not at that point to do that yet?
I've got, it's just the Rhyme Project group that I started, and it's simply for the doctorate degree, for choosing my candidates, for having ET contact. So, I don't want to publish anything beforehand on the Orion project. So I know there are people that publish section by section or give them tails up. I want my thing just to go, so I don't face too much criticism on that. But I've got Dandi.rocks. So you just enter Dandi.rocks, and then that'll be the platform for my future website. It's just got a girl there with her third eye open. That's all that's there so long. And then, once I'm done with the Orion project book, I will definitely release it on Amazon and start my YouTube page and everything. But soon.
All right, perfect. That would be wonderful. I think you're going to do very, very well. Let's continue on with our conversation tonight on Spaced Out Radio with Dandi Meyer regarding ET contact and the consciousness behind it. Mentally speaking, when you are meditating, trying to make contact, how do you go there? What makes you know that you're in that place where you can allow these messages to come in?
First of all, Dave, you would feel that something is trying to make contact with you. So it's like receiving a broken down message. So it bothers you because you can actually feel that there's something, or your ear would start ringing, or you'd feel a strange like buzzing noise in your ear. And it will carry on, and then you would feel like goosebumps and weird sensations over your body. And clearly in your mind, it's like you need to meditate or you need to focus on your dreams for that night. And that shows you that they're trying to make contact. And that's when I know I can expect something within the next few days. It usually takes about 2-3 days of meditating, and then it will come. So it's about looking out for those physical signs on the body, and then feeling it on a spiritual level, and then meditating on acting on that feeling, because then you know they're trying to make contact. But that's what I would say for people that have already made contact. For people who haven't made contact, I think start off with basic meditation, with crystals. Definitely crystals help a lot. And have a dream journal. I think you won't understand how your soul opens up if you have a dream journal, because you're writing down the messages of your soul. That's really what it is. And then it just becomes beautiful. So.
It really does. And this from Logan, what we were talking about at the break. He goes, when I hear people speak in absolutes, you have to think this, eat this, agree with this, want this, to be enlightened, etc., etc. It's typically a warning.
It's typically a warning. I don't understand.
Well, a warning that there's a lot of frauds in this field, to be blunt. You know, you're someone who is learning. You're someone who is following the path that you are shown, whereas a lot of people out there are literally starting to, this is what you have to do. This is why the ETs are here. If you don't follow A, B, C, D, you're not going to get it right. It almost becomes like a religious fanaticism.
I understand what you mean. Yes, there are people that go climb mountains, or they do crazy things. I'll be honest with you, I didn't do those things when I had the most profound experiences. Even with my first astral projection, I still had coffee that morning, I didn't even meditate and even know what meditation was before it happened. So I do think that meditating, it does help getting your mind into that discipline of being able to receive, being able to tune into a certain frequency. But once your third eye is open, for some weird reason, let's say it happened out of something bad that happened in your life, or maybe a close near-death experience. It could be anything that triggered your third eye to open, or maybe just an abduction where they actually physically open your third eye anyway for you. So then it just happens. Once that door's open, it just happens. I can't tell somebody, listen, follow this specific diet or do this. I can just say, once you're spiritually awakened, I would never use the word enlightened, because enlightenment means that you're done learning. That means you don't have to do anything anymore. So I would say just an awakening, opening yourself up to receiving spiritual experiences. Doesn't really require strict, like going to church or doing meditation. It's just a mindset, telling yourself that you're allowing yourself to have those experiences. Because a lot of people are indoctrinated with society, thinking that it's not good, it's dangerous, I'm not allowed to tap into this world, I'm not allowed to have alien experiences, or it will never happen to me because it only happens to a few people. I think it happens to a lot of people. I just don't think people are willing to share onto a level that, like what Dave is doing. It's just allowing yourself. I think it's a simple thing, but truly in your heart, allowing yourself to have those experiences. Because I know people go into this, they climb mountains, they go into a 21-day or a 40-day diet. It does help eating the right food, because you don't want just a bad spiritual experiences. You can eat meat or do stuff like that, and you're most likely going to encounter demonic beings or weird things that are not friendly. The higher your vibration is, the higher those beings you will encounter. So you'll encounter beings of a higher vibration, or you'll encounter aliens of a higher vibration. So important to be on the right frequency. It's not like we have a little plug that we can plug into ourselves and say, okay, fine, I'm doing 711, this is where my frequency is at. It's a knowing that you can feel in your body that your frequency is high enough, and then you can act upon it.
I think that's wonderful. I think it's wonderful in order to find that intention and to find that place where you can advance yourself. Do you have to be advanced spiritually in order to make it happen, Dandi? Or can somebody just put the intention out there who's never tried this before and all of a sudden have ET contact?
Well, Dave, this is a tricky one because knowing myself the way I know myself now, I do believe in that my spirituality has come from many lifetimes. I don't think I just became like this in this life. I think this is actually something that has come with me throughout my lives. And also the contacts that I have in the ET world, I think we all have those contacts, but some of us are inclined, if I have to give you an example, let's say you've always been a doctor, you are a doctor. Chances are high you've been in that same field in a previous life. Whether it's done in a different way, that is maybe what your soul frequency is made up of. That's just my personal opinion. I do believe that this thing that I can do with magic and astral traveling and aliens and all of that is something that has come from previous soul contracts that I had. Definitely not just this life, but I can help others remember. I can help others find the way, because that is what a metaphysician does at the end of the day, is to help others, that just nudge them over that little gap that they can't seem to close.
I like that. I like the fact that it is open to anybody in order to want to do that. And that is difficult because a lot of people out there, I think one of the biggest things about the UFO field and the ET contact field is a lot of the people who are exploring this have never seen a UFO. They've never had ET contact. They've never had a download in order to get that information. So it's kind of interesting to see how that can progress for anybody that wants to get into this.
But just the fact that they want to explore it is good enough, because that's the first step that you need to take. Is you need to be keen on this. You need to want to be, you get people out there that don't even speak about aliens. They don't talk about aliens. They don't talk about spirituality. It's just to take that first step to open yourself up, and then you open yourself up more and more, and then the stuff starts happening. Answers will come to those who ask. Experiences will come to those who seek. I can guarantee you that.
Definitely. And thank you so much for breaking that down for us in regards to how to make contact. Now, one of the issues that a lot of people have out there is not all aliens are good, Dandi. There are some bad ones out there. So how do you, when you put that intention out there and you try and make it grow and try and make it something that you can have that experience, how do you make it that it's with the good guys rather than some sort of bad aliens who really just want to bend you over and give you the old anal probe?
Well, anal probe, wow. My university gave me a list of alien species that are benevolent and non-benevolent, that are good and bad. They actually gave me a breakdown on ones that I should look out for, that are worth making contact with, or those who are really, they've got ill intentions for humanity. It definitely is true that there are aliens out there that are just, well, we all classify under a certain group of alien species, so it depends on the group that you fall into. They'll either help you or, I don't know, but mostly they want to help those. But there are some bad ones out there, I know. I don't really want to go too deep into it because, I can't badmouth a certain alien race. It's just against what I do.
Come on, just one.
Well, basically, the reptilians are quite bad, I heard. Although I've made contact with them, I'm grateful in my heart that I could have seen them. It's just the stuff that I heard. It makes me not want to say that I've made contact with them. Just now they classify me under that group. But right. The same as with the robots. I call them robots, but they're more sentient beings than anything else. But yeah, I think there are some that have other intentions for this planet. If we think things can get as bad now, maybe it can get a little bit worse, before it gets better. There are definitely some aliens that have bad alien agendas, but on a scale, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. It's not the dark side is bigger than the light side, or the light side wins the dark side. No, there's 50-50. That's coming from a metaphysician. That's my opinion.
Magnus is asking, Dandi, have you had experiences with Nordic aliens? Are they related to the Pleiades?
Yes, they are related to the Pleiadians. What I have experienced, I've gone to the Faroe Islands. Now, this is something a little bit, I don't know if Dave has ever spoken about this, but I don't know if you guys know where the Faroe Islands are. They're there by Iceland, close to Norway. Anyways, there is strange beings that live in the sea there. They look almost like mermaids, but they're not mermaids. They look like gray aliens, but in a fish type of way. So there are beings that stay in our ocean that is connected to the Pleiadians, that's connected to the Nordic aliens, but they're also like ocean beings, but highly intelligent, also telepathic, and they come from way up north. So I've heard about the blue tall whites, the Nordic aliens, but I've also heard that they've got, as good and beautiful as they look, they might have not the best intentions. Believe it or not, everybody thinks that all the aliens that come from Pleiadians are great. I've heard some other things about those aliens, but it all depends on what their mission is and who they deal with, so I can't comment too much on that.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know Iceland had like mermaid-type alien beings there.
You should go into it. You should ask Johnny Enoch about it. He knows a lot about it.
Sure. You know, Johnny helped me start this show.
You should ask Johnny about the beings that are under the sea. He knows about them.
Yes. Johnny and I aren't seeing eye to eye right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. His peace, love and light apparently doesn't extend to me anymore. Yeah.
Well, mine does, so if that helps.
Well, you know what? We'll keep it at that. We'll keep it at that. Dandi Meyer is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, and we're going to continue on talking about ET contact here right now with Dandi. Dandi, for you, as you make contact and you are trying to get that ascension, are you always calling in the same group of ETs? So when you put the message out there, is it always one certain group, and do you have to change your meditation for others? How does that work?
Okay, the thing is, when I sometimes try to make contact with that one certain group, that is what happened with the reptilians, and there was an interference. So I don't know if it maybe was meant for me to see them, or if they want me to also see them. I cannot pinpoint that. So it's weird that it happens. I didn't think I would see anything but the Alpha Centaurians, but it seems that you can meet other alien species while on your mission to make contact. You can't be like, I didn't have the intention to see them. I didn't have the intention to meet up with them. It just happened. So you might be meditating for one, and then another comes knocking on your door. It depends on what the universe thinks that you are ready to see or experience, or what the bigger plan is.
I love Behoff's question here. Dandi, how can we figure out how or what our soul contract or life purpose is?
Well, for me, it was very easy. Because those experiences just unfolded like a kaleidoscope. You need to, like, once again, you need to open yourself up for that. You need to go into your dreams to understand what your soul contract is. It's the only way if I could give anybody advice, going through your dreams and becoming awake in your dreams. Well, you can find out anything. It's very easy to enter the Akashic records from your lucid dreams. So it's important to do a dream journal, and if you have a question that you want to ask your higher self or what your soul contract is for, it will be revealed in your dreams. There's no ways that it won't be revealed in your dreams, especially if that is your intention. People just need to practice that. Practice on using your dreams. I mean, 50% of your life you're sleeping, or 30% of your life for some, but when you sleep, you enter another world, and there's so much information that you can gain out of it, of where you come from and also where you're going as a soul.
Okay, so is there a soul contract for that? For which groups that you want to connect with?
You notice your soul contract, like, for instance, you either find you have a soul contract with Orion, the Orion constellation. You will see all the species that are there in the Orion constellation, and you then understand why all of a sudden you have these gifts, and you understand why you use them. It's like, I'm giving myself as an example. And then you also understand the consequences if you don't, act on your soul contract. It's karmic consequences, and you just do it in the name of respect and love, I'd say.
All right. Tony is asking, and welcome to the chat room, Tony. How did you get into this field? What was the catalyst onto your path to get here?
The biggest catalyst was in 2012 when I had that alien abduction. So I would say that was the cherry on the cake. The cake was being built throughout my life, but the cherry on the cake was the alien experience that I had. It definitely jolted me into that direction. I couldn't do it any other way. Metaphysics was the only answer I could find for everything that happened to me. I can't go onto the internet and go, why am I making contact with Alpha Centaurians? It doesn't make sense. You can't do it that way. But with the University of Metaphysical Sciences have a clear way of showing you how to deal with those experiences and how to have more experiences. And if it wasn't for them, I think I'd be crazy by now. I would be like, I wouldn't be able to validate my experiences. I wouldn't be able to work upon them and act upon them. So it makes everything very special. And they also explain to you in metaphysics that this is your soul contract. This is what you signed up for. They also affirm that. They also tell you that. So it's just you get this confirmations from various type of places knowing what you're supposed to do or not to do. But some people are born, they're born to become like maybe a doctor or a super engineer or whatever your field. There's different soul contracts. There's contracts for meeting other people. There's not just spirituality, but I think spirituality is a big thing that one needs to focus on. But yeah, there are different contracts at different stages of your life.
And those contracts are signed by whom? Like, are they signed by us in the astral level or the spiritual level?
You are your higher self. This is what you signed up for before you came here. And those things are in the Akashic record. So you can tap into the Akashic record if they allow you, if you're going to use the information for better good. So my experience with the Akashic record is very controlled. You can't just get information without having a pure intention. I'm not saying I'm a saint, don't get me wrong, but if the intention is to expand consciousness, then almost the entire door of the universe opens up. If you've got that intention of raising consciousness.
All right. Grantavius is asking, so are we able to meet all of the beings in the universe or just the ones that are more local?
Okay, for me, there's no local beings because some of them come from far. Some of them have reincarnated on this planet. Some of them are in human form. But out of my experience, I think I've had quite profound experiences. I haven't seen all of the beings that they've listed in the studies of metaphysics. I haven't seen there are some that I really want to see and meet, but I haven't come to that level yet. So I don't think everybody has got the opportunity to meet all of them. You're going to only meet those that are assigned to your soul contract.
Does that include people on the planet as well? Do you sign that soul contract with people on the planet, whether it's those who you befriend, those who you fall in love with, those who you have any type of relation with?
Yes, definitely. And you know that as well on an energy level in your soul. When you see those people, you just know this feels right. You trust the situation and everything you can't believe how things can happen in a certain way. It's almost like it's meant to be. So there will be situations in your life where you're supposed to be with that person or you're supposed to do this with this person. It just feels right. It's a deep feeling that it's an inner knowing.
Where does that inner knowing come from? Is it the heart, the soul?
It comes from the soul, from way back, not from here.
We have less than a minute to go here before we have to go to break at the top of the hour. Dandi Meyer is our guest tonight. Now, that soul contract, when you sign it, who is there to validate it or to keep it going? Is it a god? Is it a spiritual source? Okay,
let's go back to the topic of gods. Have I seen a god, like how people would describe it? I've seen one god called Osiris, which is an Egyptian deity. You don't sit in a room with a piece of paper and you sign contracts. You just meet up and it's a feeling of a memory of something that you've done before to be able to do something here. So if you go into that deep on that level, you know it when you like. I don't know how to explain it. It's very profound. So in my studies, also with the University of Metaphysical Sciences, they will explain buildings that I see in my dreams in detail. That those buildings are made of snakes and pillars and stuff like that.
I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. We have Dandi Meyer, another 30 minutes on Spaced Out Radio. We have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned to Jam-Packed Spaced Out Radio third hour. Coming up next.
Dave?
Yeah.
There's the bathroom.
You go. I'll be right back, okay? Love you too, Andrew. Be right back, guys. right, I am back. These on. All right, there we go. Let's see. All right. We all good? You having a good time?
Yes.
Good.
You?
I am having a great time. Thank you. We've got about 90 seconds. It is warming here. And there's apparently another forest fire in my area now. Not in my area, south of me, but it's like, goddamn, another one?
It's crazy the fires in Canada, hey?
Right now, yeah, it's stupid. It is stupid
Does-
right now.
Fires? Like, do fires occur by you guys?
We haven't had fires this bad in 4 years. I was evacuated for 15 days in 2017. So that was hard back then. I didn't like that.
That's quite bad.
Yeah.
We don't have tall trees. Yeah. We only have bushy trees.
Yeah, well, we thought we had last couple of years have been quite wet, and then we had a very heavy snowfall this past winter, and thought that was going to be enough, but you aren't prepared for the 41 to 44 type degree temperatures, right? Dries things out very, very quickly.
Do you guys have, like, are your houses, like, designed to have that heat?
Not really. Not really. It's not really designed. All right, 1 second here. Thank you to Andrew, Jeff, Chad, ×2, and ABC, Ange, Cat Chaser, and We Are the Light for the amazing super chats. We really do appreciate it. Here we go.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. We want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ethesiogenic. Ethesiogenic is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce our guest, Dandi Meyer. She's out of South Africa, and she is someone who is studying and researching and experiencing ET contact, consciousness improvement. How do we go from here? Where do we got to go? What do we need to ascend to? Dandi, welcome back.
Hey. Well, everybody's talking about the fifth dimension, so there's a lot of extraterrestrials in the fifth dimension. That is once again why I'm saying to rise your vibrational state is really quite important. People that do astral traveling, they do know how to do that, and you have to have the right state of frequency and the right state of mind to be able to perceive those things. It's all about tuning in. It's to perceive it through your third eye to be able to experience it. So it's something that it's not that difficult to do. It's just you need to understand how to do it.
How do we look at the fifth dimension? What is that all about?
Well, some people, how I see the fifth dimension is something that really started imposing itself here, according to my point of view, I would say from 2012. And why we don't have the fourth dimension really is because the fourth dimension, how I see it is, it's more like where your demons are and your dream world. So we're going beyond that. We're going into where we can become one with spirituality and with our higher selves, and also take our technology onto the next level, as where spirituality and technology will also become one. I know people don't like to hear that, but it's true and it's already happening. So we do have an extra dimension that has opened up to our perspectiveness. I see it as perceiving something, and it's an extra point of view.
Okay, so are there other dimensions outside of the fifth, higher? Because rock star Sammy Hagar believes he was visited by an extraterrestrial being, a woman who came from like the 7th or 9th or 11th dimension, something along those lines. And in fact, the Van Halen song Love Walks In is about her.
Oh, wow. Well, there are many different dimensions. If I can give you an example, the consciousness of Orion lies within the 11th dimension. So, yes, there are different dimensions, different species. Doesn't mean that the aliens are not here in our universe. They definitely are. But to tap into their way of thinking and understanding their technology, you need to send your very own mind into a higher state or a different dimension. So you pierce the veil with your mind and you bring it into your world here. That's how it works with experiencing different dimensions.
Okay. So how many dimensions have you gone through?
Oh, I can't. It's the same as going to locations. It doesn't have a board that says you have entered the 11th dimension. You can only validate it by other people's books. So you would say, okay, I've also seen those mountains, or I've seen the sky was this color, or I vibrated very fast. I could travel very fast. Or those were the beings that I encountered. Then you know more or less, according to those people, according to a lot of resources, that must have been that dimension. Because people that write books on metaphysics, they validate dimensions and they cross-check it with other people to see if their experience corresponds with the other person's experience. And then you start labeling it. So I can't say to you, I've been to this dimension or that. I've been to dimensions further than the fifth. It's just, I can't really label them as to say, I've really been to the 11th dimension. I can't say that for certain because it's not been labeled as the 11th dimension. It's so big that you cannot even label it at the 11th dimension. Because as a dimension opens up, it actually opens more color, more feelings, more everything, more experiences on such a level that you didn't even learn about it on your school. Like, you don't even know that it exists. So unless you travel to that with your astral body or you get taken there, then only then do you understand. But wow, there's this different experience that you have with that dimension.
Are the beings different at different dimensions? Like, no. Explain how that would work.
The thing is, like, what doesn't seem real to us, well, how can I say it? Like, if you even have to go astral travel to a place, you travel there in your astral body that seems to be see-through to, like, if you had to sit next to me and I go and I leave my body, you won't really see my astral body. It's the same as what I would see another being. I would see them in that form as much as I can perceive with my mind over here. It depends on how far I've ascended with my consciousness, how I will perceive that being, how it will look like to me. So that's also a very important factor to bear in mind. You don't just see things as they are. It all depends on how mature your soul is to perceive those things.
Mature how? Is that, we often use the phrase that this person is an old soul or this person is a new soul. Is that what you mean by that?
Yes, the experiences that the soul has physically had. And once the soul has had a certain experience, it can never go back to its previous dimensions. You can never go and fall down again. You always, at some point in your life, you open up to who you truly are. And yeah. Once again, Dave, like I say, it starts with a dream journal. It's a simple thing like that, and it opens up that weird world. Because right now we're sitting on a round planet in space, and this is all we see. You need to start moving beyond that, and beyond that, and beyond that. And the only way of doing that is exploring your mind. And you can just start off by simply writing down your dreams. and that'll unfold like a storybook.
Let's get to Eugene's question here. There it is. What is the difference between the spirit and the soul?
Well, spirit and soul for me is the same thing. I don't see spirit as different, but if you speak about a spirit, like if you think about it from a religious point of view, people would say the Spirit of God is here, or the Spirit of God is surrounding us. That would be for more than one person to experience, whereas soul is dedicated to a body, if that makes sense.
Okay. So the way I would define it is your soul is that entity that is all inside of us that really guides us to where we need to go in our connection. In my connection, I'm a believer in God. I would say it's my connection to God. Okay. For others, it might be a connection to something else that's ethereal. Okay. But for the spirit, I think the spirit is who you are. It's what you are outside of your body. Does that make sense?
Maybe. But then you become more one with everything as well. So the moment your soul leaves your body, you tend to go into a different, like a astral body has different bodies. There's 5 that I know of that is imposed into this dimension that you start switching into. So that's just 5 astral bodies that we're speaking about. Never mind if you have to talk about consciousness or the higher self or the spirit that you're referring to. You have to first pass those bodies. So it really depends on what you mean.
Okay, well, let me change the topic here.
Maybe that thing that leaves when it doesn't have any of your astral bodies. Because when you die, those things change in the ether. Your soul is your soul, and then you've got your different astral bodies that you travel with. Where I know of 5 that you go into. It depends on how far you want to travel. It's not like I can choose, like I'm flipping into this astral body. My mind automatically does that, but it's good to be aware of those 5 bodies. So anybody can go Google the 5 different astral bodies and they'll see what it's about. And then I think if you leave or you lose your physical body when you die, you can maybe then move into spirit. But then again, the higher self is always waiting for that part that belongs to the higher self.
Okay, I'm going to change this a little bit because a lot of people, Dandi, are really about using psychedelics in order to connect, whether it's LSD, whether it's ayahuasca, whether it's any type of enhancements of chemicals in order to get to that higher vibration or to make extraterrestrial contact. What is your thoughts on that?
Okay, sorry, Dave, you were breaking up there a little bit, but it's fine.
Did you hear the question?
You say, okay, you're saying people are using stuff to get to that higher state of mind, like plant medicine and chemicals and stuff like that.
Ayahuasca, LSD.
Okay. I've tried ayahuasca before, and yes, it did do something, but it didn't give me an alien experience. It didn't, let me have an. Ayahuasca made me connect to Gaia, the planet Earth, the soul of this planet. So the consciousness, which is called Gaia, which is basically this planet, which I never really encountered before until I had that plant medicine. So it's weird. Mushrooms, also, you feel like you're connecting to this Earth and you're connecting to everything that's happening here and the pain that the planet is feeling as well as the pain of the people. And that plant and it also apparently heals stuff inside of your body. But when it comes to profound spiritual experiences, I would honestly tell you, I cannot recommend that you need to take something to have an experience. No. It's something that happens in pure mind. It happens when you sober in the sense of you didn't have anything to drink or you didn't have any drugs that you took. It actually happens in a sober mind. If stuff like that happened to people that they took something, I hope it was an hallucination or something. I think people must be careful of that. Maybe they see into the spiritual world. That is the 4th dimension that can take advantage of somebody that is opening up in the spiritual world while on anything that can tamper your mind, like alcohol or plant medicines.
Right. What about marijuana?
I wouldn't recommend it. Hello? No, I've tried weed wine. It just made me hungry and a dry mouth, and no, I can't say that I understand. No.
I don't get it either.
No.
I don't get it either. But that's quite okay. For you, though, as you look to advance your own studies, because this is never a field where you finally reach the top. You'll never reach the top in this lifetime. How do you advance your own studies in order to move forward?
Sorry, Dave, that last part just broke up. Just say that again.
How do you advance your own studies to move forward?
Okay. By advancing studies, well, metaphysical studies, you need to be consistent in your experiences. So I say, once again, dream journaling is basic 101. And then during your waking day, like when you do normal things like at work or when I speak to someone, I always try to connect with their mind. So before they say something, I would think, okay, she's married, she's got 2 kids, or this is the situation. Telepathically, I'm down her information. She lies in my chair and I start with her, let's say her permanent makeup or lashes. All of a sudden she starts talking, because that's just that metaphysicians have. They open up, and then you know they were going to open up before you even start. And that already is like us for the day. I would say, I just had this experience. I knew that she was in trouble with her relationship, or I knew that she's got kids, and as she speaks, I can actually see what she's telling me. Like she would say, yes, I think my boyfriend's cheating on me. I can see the boyfriend, whether he's really cheating or not, and the girl that he's maybe with. That's just something psychic that comes with a metaphysical package. But it's also what guys, if you don't keep that spiritual muscle going, and you don't every single mind and points of my third eye still open. Well, it's not like it can really close once it's open, but it's very active still. My third eye is very active, and my diet is healthy, and I'm fine. So you need to do those things on a regular basis. It's not something that you decide once every. Okay, it's like new moon, or what do some people do, like on these longest day of the year and shortest the solstices. Now I'm gonna all of a sudden have to pull out my magic powers. It's something you need to do daily. And then see, the sun is coming up here by me. My room is becoming light.
Well, you know what? It's just getting dark here. So that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
We have you for about another 7.5 minutes here. Dandi Meyer is our guest tonight. She's all the way from South Africa, talking about consciousness, extraterrestrial contact. Now, when you put out the energy that you want ET contact, okay, how does it happen for you? How does it manifest itself that you're going to have it, or why would you ask for it?
Okay, well, first of all, with my first experience, I didn't ask for it. So I knew that something like that would happen in my life, but it just happened. After that, I would think of the experience, and I would think of the symbol that they've shown me. And by thinking of it, I know telepathically I'm already connected. So sorry, let's say I'm driving in my car and I'm thinking of that experience that I had, and then I would envision the symbol. I would feel sensations through my hand, through my head. I can feel my body charging with that celestial energy, with that kundalini energy that I need to be able to have those experiences. And then I give it, like I told you before, a day or 2 or 3 for it to actually show up. And maybe before I go to sleep at night, I know this sounds weird, but when the sun sets, my astral eyes are beautiful. Like I can just see a lot of stuff. It happens every day, not just every now and then. I can see beings in my room. Usually before I fall asleep, I can see stuff and I think, okay, wait, something's going to happen. Because the moment my astral body leaves my physical body is when they will take me and I'll have an experience. So it can happen more frequent if you just allow it to be. But you need to be awake in your dream state. You need to be aware that you're busy falling asleep. Your body is shutting down. Your body is falling asleep, but your mind is still awake. And that zone allows you to enter into those memories that you can bring back with you. But also, guys, it's very pre-planned. So I think those aliens, they've got perfect agendas, just like we have a diary. I'm sure they have a planner. They plan their way on how they do abductions. So
Then
I don't just think...
how come, though, they don't allow us to remember, though?
I do remember. It's just in that memory, there's like just a piece that's gone, but I still remember everything. It's just like they maybe didn't want me to see a certain person or hear a certain voice, because you get something called psychic hacking, where another psychic person, maybe with another different alien agenda, can hack into my mind to see those memories that I've had, something that they don't want to have everybody to see. So I think maybe that is why they do it. That's really, it's government protection. It's a lot of things that they do for people not to trace them or hack them, if you know what I mean. Do you think that's possible, Dave?
I don't know. See, that's why I'm a little confused by it. See, a lot of this still confuses me.
Okay.
It really does. So that's why, like, I have troubles putting the puzzle pieces together. As I've explained to my audience previous, Dandi, it's literally like turning a puzzle upside down, where you get all the backside and trying to put it together that way, rather than flipping it over and seeing all the colors and a pattern, or looking at the box to see what you're trying to build. It's confusing to me that way.
Okay, so if you want an answer or a clear thing on something, you need to let the universe just bring it to you. Don't force something, because now what you're doing is you're thinking with your human mind. You're thinking with your consciousness, and your consciousness is conditioned in this life. I'm sorry to say, but we've all been conditioned. And those conditions through society is blocking you from understanding certain things. So sometimes you just need to really go into a metaphysical state of mind, like I would say the Delta state of mind. You zone out of your human mind and your human thoughts, so that you can tune into a frequency that's a little bit different. Really, trust me if I say your mind is like a radio station. You can actually tune into different things. You tune into different frequencies, you tune into different situations, past, present, future. You are a living, breathing Akashic record of the entire universe. You can connect to anything and everything if you really know how to master your mind.
So how do we gain that control? Is it connecting with the soul? Is it connecting with the brain?
No, not the brain. The brain is just it's just transmitting the information. The brain is not you. You are not your brain. So once people understand that, when they have an out-of-body experience, they're like, oh my gosh, my entire personality, everything that I am is outside of my body, and I can actually look at my body, my physical body. Then you get the fright of your life, and you understand you are not your body. You're not your human body. You're not that person that you see in the mirror. You're actually something completely different. And that thing that's inside of your body holds a treasury of past life experiences. It holds a treasury of future things that can still happen with that soul. And we are allowed to tap into that. That is why we are so highly conditioned. So,
how do we break the trends, though? Because we're so focused on our own self right now, whether it's through technology, our cell phones, social media, the way we look, the way we dress, the way we present ourselves. It's always about that public image rather than that spiritual image. So how do we flip ourselves to get back? I think she froze up.
One thing I can say about myself, one thing I can say about myself is that I don't do that spiritual thing where I wear spiritual clothes to justify me as a metaphysician or somebody that's had alien. And I present myself as basically a woman that makes other women feel beautiful and feel great about themselves. But then there's that other side of me that doesn't have this flesh and clothing. You don't need to wear certain clothes to have a spiritual experience. You don't need to wear certain clothes to represent yourself spiritually. Unless you are with your environment or another person or another being. But at this stage where we're at, the way we dress, it's okay for now.
Dandi,
it's okay.
Dandi, I want to say thank you for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. I really appreciated getting the chance to finally chat with you about these awesome, awesome topics. And we're definitely going to do this again. And I know you had to get up early for it because you're in South Africa, but it was well worth it for our audience. Thank you so much.
So much for having me, Dave. And I can't wait when my book is going to be released. And also to make you a proper candidate of Orion. And then next time you can tell us about your experiences that you're having.
It's all about you, not about my experiences. But we will talk. We do have to have a conversation about Orion. That is for sure. Dandi Meyer, everybody, on Spaced Out Radio. Coming up next, we got the SOR Newswire. We have the Thought of the Dave. Stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. All right, we are clear. That's weird how your connection kind of went a little cranky there the last few minutes. Your phone getting tired?
It's coming and going. Yeah, I think so. You know what it is? You know what it is, Dave? The entire South Africa has just woken up. Everybody's using the internet. So I think that's what it is.
Probably.
It's dipping.
Probably. That's okay, though. I will let you go. You're probably hungry and want some breakfast with your family. And, thank you so much. And we will get together to chat about Orion and all the other weird stuff very soon. I promise.
Can't wait, Dave. Thank you so much for having me, and have a wonderful night in warm camp.
Good night. Take care. Or good morning to you, and take care. Dandi Meyer, everyone. Dandi Meyer. That's a good show. She is just in the process of setting up her website. It's dandi.rocks, R-O-C-K-S, and she's in the presence of writing a book. And thank you, Ozzy Steve, for that super chat. And let's just write that down there. And so when she releases her book and everything, and with the Orion project that she's creating, then she is going to start her own YouTube channel and everything like that. So it'll be really good. So thank you guys for hanging on out with us. I just got to get one more. Let me... Give me 2 seconds here. I can hear my fan buzzing away there. There we go. Fun night. Fun night. Oh, hey, Clam. Grandmaster, how you doing? Yeah, we will. Definitely, Jennifer. Definitely. Okay, we got about 1 minute here. I've never forgotten to come back from a break. Although I was late one time, this a couple years ago, because my dogs decided to chase some deer out of the backyard. They wouldn't stop barking at the deer on the other side of the fence once the deer jumped over the fence, and they were like taunting each other. And I came back. I ended up being like 2 or 3 minutes late. That wasn't good. That wasn't good. Hey, Super Quest, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a good night at work. Hi, gorgeous Jean. And thank you to Steve, Torrance, Jacqueline, Andrew, Jeff, Chad, ABC, Ange, Cat Chaser, We in the Night for the Super Chats. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Really do appreciate earning your listening ears. Wherever you are in this great planet we call Earth, want to say hello to everyone tuning on in and remind you that you can always check out our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Speaking of the news, the news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes the devastating. Now, remember last night I was telling you about the town of Lytton, which is 100 miles south of where I am. In fact, because of Lytton, that's how the town I am in, 100 Mile House, actually got their name. Well, it's bad news today. More than 1,000 people fled the village and surrounding areas, and RCMP are now looking for those who are unaccounted for. Dozens of families were forced to flee their homes as a catastrophic fire devastated a small village in British Columbia's Fraser Canyon, and now, because everybody scrambled east and west and north and south, they are trying to figure out where everyone is. And yeah, they were forced to leave with very little notice, up to 15 to 20 minutes maximum, before the fire roared up the hill and started burning the town. Online community groups were filled with posts for people trying to desperately find information about family, friends, and pets left behind. The challenge will be trying to confirm where residents went and connect them with their families. The province said the losses include most homes and structures, as well as the local ambulance station and RCMP detachment. The local member of parliament said 90% of the village is gone. Yeah, this is just freaky. It's gone. Yeah, we are receiving calls from people looking for loved ones and family as well, and it's really hard because of power outages and cell phone towers being down, but we're working on that. Scott Hildebrand, Chief Administrative Officer with the Thompson-Nicola Regional District, has said one of our challenges right now is that we had people leave in all different directions. BC Public Safety Minister Mike Farnworth said the RCMP is investigating the location of any residents who are unaccounted for but could not provide an exact number. Right now we know the death total is 2. In a statement, Lytton RCMP said it is currently unsafe for anyone to enter the town, and additional 100 officers have been deployed to assist with investigation efforts. The situation is being continually assessed, and when safe to do so, we will be entering the area to conduct a formal search specifically for any injured or missing people, said Dwayne McDonald, commanding officer of the BC RCMP. Federal Defense Minister Harjit Sajjan has said that the federal government is also coordinating with the BC government on how to provide support. We'll also look at what the future support is going to be needed for the town to potentially rebuild itself. Now, Lytton Mayor Jan Polderman signed the official evacuation at 6 p.m. Pacific. He said the village was overcome by flames before officials had the chance to coordinate a place for people to go, so many just started driving. The town is burnt down, Polderman said, his voice hoarse as he spoke from a family member's home in Maple Ridge, British Columbia. I noticed some white smoke at the south end of town, and within 15 to 20 minutes the whole town was engulfed in flames. Video captured by residents rushing out of town showed numerous buildings on fire. Charred rubble was all that remained of the town's main street. And this is a beautiful little community. Beautiful little community. And my heart pours out for them. There are GoFundMe accounts going right now for the people of this community who literally have lost everything, their businesses, their homes, and hopefully the death toll does not climb any higher. So if you're interested, just go on to GoFundMe and find one of the groups there that is looking to raise money for helping rebuild this community, and we'd really appreciate it because BC is burning right now. There's a new forest fire probably about 25 minutes south of me right now. It just established today. The two that were around yesterday when I talked about that during the show, one was put out, one is contained, so it is scary. It is still warm here. Although it was about 10 degrees Celsius cooler than it was the previous number of days, and it felt good to actually get a breeze in the air, but that breeze also pushes the flames, so we will keep you in tune with what is going on as the fires continue around British Columbia, and later on this week, when heading into the weekend, we are expected to get more thunder and lightning storms as well, so that's never very good in these situations. An Iowa man threatened to blow up a McDonald's over missing dipping sauce. If you've ever ordered chicken McNuggets from McDonald's only to get home and find your sauce is missing, you know how that could take you to 0 to 100 in milliseconds in the anger category. It's annoying. Makes you shake your head. That's what happened to a man in Iowa, but he decided that rather than inconvenience himself and return to McDonald's to get the sauce he requested, he dug around his fridge or pantry for a less than stellar substitute. No, didn't do that. Or simply eat the bite-sized chicken without sauce. No, wasn't good enough. Decided to go another way. Threatened to blow up the restaurant. Yeah, how good is that? Robert Goldwitzer, 42 of Ankeny, Iowa, called the McDonald's on Saturday evening after requesting some sauce. This after he realized that his sauce was gone, not around, not in the bag, didn't fall out in the car. So he calls up the McDonald's and literally says, coming to blow the place up and punch an employee. Police contacted Goldwitzer at a phone number the threat was called in from, according to the criminal complaint filed in the case, and he admitted to making the threats. Goldwitzer has been charged with making a false report of explosive or incendiary devices. He was jailed on Saturday and was released on bond the following day. No word on whether his original ask for the barbecue sauce, sweet and sour, or honey mustard, spicy buffalo, or creamy ranch was eventually granted. I don't think it was. Somehow, I don't think he's getting any sauce from any McDonald's anytime soon. This latest incident comes weeks after a woman went ballistic after the restaurant refused her drink request and took it upon herself to go behind the counter and attempt to make her own multi-flavored slushie. What's with people? It's McDonald's. Most of them are kids working there, you morons. Don't get it. U.S. intelligence agencies recently delivered a report on unidentified aerial phenomena to Congress, compiled by the Director of National Intelligence and the Secretary of Defense, to finally make public what the government knows about UFOs. In the report on Pentagon's UAP task force, officials recommended extending research and resources to explore existing unknowns. They also pointed to new ways the government can use new technology to investigate sightings. The report does not confirm or refute the existence of extraterrestrial life. So, that was part of the interesting part of the report. No standardized reporting mechanism existed until the Navy established one on March 2019. At least that's what they tell us. You know, this is where the mainstream media does not understand our topics. But it remains in limited U.S. government reporting, indicating that the government never wanted to acknowledge UFOs. With thousands of UFO sightings in North America over the past year, Peter Davenport, who you hear on this show every Sunday night, director of the National UFO Reporting Center, doesn't think there is any single location that is most prolific. He says everyone seems to talk about hotspots for UFO sightings, and many people believe they really exist, but I don't believe our data supports the notion. So, where do you go to look for UFOs? Well, Ireland apparently tops the list in Europe, followed by France, Spain, Monaco. It's another European country with the longest duration of UFO sightings. Yes, besides hotspots like Nevada, New Mexico, and Pennsylvania, many other areas across the United States have some busy numbers. Arizona tops the list, followed by California, Florida, New York, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, Washington State. Here in Canada, Ontario number 1, Quebec number 2, British Columbia number 3. Kind of goes with population, I think, here. And the rest of them, well, they're just added up. Just added up. But the main thing that we're learning here in Canada is aliens are not Toronto Maple Leafs fans. You know how we know this? Because it's been since 1967 since the Leafs last won the Stanley Cup, and the aliens have not once helped the Maple Leafs win another. Let the curse continue. All right, a spectator who caused a massive Tour de France crash has been arrested after days-long searching by police. The unidentified female fan, she was wearing a yellow jacket, was seen holding a sign and venturing too far into the road with her back to oncoming cyclists. Yes, and then the inevitable happened. A massive pile-up of riders, the unidentified female spectator, was arrested after she presented herself at the police station, and she remains in custody at a police station in Landerneau, an area in Brittany where the tour held its first 4 stages. The woman's arrest comes days after law enforcement officials announced on Facebook that they had opened an investigation into the involuntary injuries with disabilities not exceeding 3 months by manifestly deliberate breach of an obligation of safety or caution. They may want to edit that law. A little bit too wordy there. In other words, plain English, getting out of the French, the viewer caused this accident, then left the scene before investigators arrived. Tour Deputy Director Pierre-Yves Thoreau has said, "We are suing this woman who behaved so badly. We are doing this so the tiny minority of people who do this don't spoil the show for everyone. The fine for the spectator could reach around $1,780. However, the fine could increase if German cyclist Joshua Sutherland, who was forced to withdraw from the tour following the crash, files his own complaint against the spectator." In video footage from the June 26 crash, which took place in the first stage of the race from Brest to Landerneau, the unidentified female fan in a yellow jacket was seen holding a sign and venturing too far into the road with her back to oncoming cyclists. Her sign, which read Allez Omi, which translates from French to German to "Come on, Granddad, Granny," which makes no sense, caused German cyclist Tony Martin to lose control of his bike, leading to a massive pileup. It took approximately 25 kilometers, or more than 15 miles, for the peloton to fully regroup. The world's largest cycling event, which was postponed last year due to COVID, will continue through July 18th. In the realm of fat bears, there are 2 legendary titans, bears 747 and 856, are large dominant bears who feast on salmon in Alaska's Katmai National Park and Preserve. They are both internet-famous bears, as they are viewed globally by people and are regular competitors in the park's Fat Bear Week contest, a celebration of these animals succeeding in their wild, harsh homes. Yet, there can only be one dominant bear, and for the last decade it has been bear number 856, where bears spend their summer and fall in Katmai's Brooks River. He intimidated other bears from the best fishing spots and earned many mating opportunities because of his size, yet a recent intense encounter suggests that Bear 856's long, impressive reign may be over, especially as he ages. He's said to be around 20, and this is old for a brown bear. But here we go. New bear cam footage has the colossal bear, number 747, the winner of last year's Fat Bear Week contest and long and largest fattest bear on cams, asserting his dominance over 856. Oh, we got a brawl happening. We got a bear brawl. Oh, I think this is going into the octagon here. And yeah, apparently these two are now brawling for the prime fishing spots on the Brooks River. The ladies are all sitting around, ooh, look at these two handsome bears. Go at it about us. Because they want to mate. They want to do the biggest, fattest, most handsome bear on the Alaskan countryside. They want it. 747 has played second fiddle for too long. He is challenging 856, saying, look here, you old bastard. Let's get this done. You and me, mano a mano, we'll meet in the river. The one who goes down the rapids is the loser. You got to leave town. This is a loser leave town match. And this one's turning into a brawl. This one's going to be a big, big brawl. I want to see this. I think that if this natural preserve company that films these bears on a daily basis really wants to make some money, we got to do this pay-per-view. Am I the only one thinking that? We got to do it pay-per-view. Let's see this happen. We need to make this happen. Totally do. Sticking with wildlife. A deer wandered into a Walmart store in Wisconsin, subsequently tackled and ejected from the business by an employee. So, here we go. Innocent deer wants to go into Walmart, maybe find some lettuce and vegetables in the produce section. Get a little snack. And then you got Walmart employee a little overzealous because the deer is not wearing a mask. The deer is not wearing a mask. Employee says, hey, deer, how come you don't have your mask on? Deer says, hey, buddy, I'm just here for the produce section. I forgot my wallet at home. I'm going to steal some of this. And Walmart employee goes, no, you're not on my shift. You're not stealing any produce, and you can't enter the store without a mask. The deer says, screw you and your mask. I don't want to wear a mask. I'm a wildlife animal. We can't even buy masks. He's like, didn't you see the dispenser for the hand soap and the sanitizer? You can at least put that on your hoofs. And the deer says, I'm not putting that on my hoofs. I'm from nature. I don't have your human garbage and COVID. And the deer's like, just let me go eat some lettuce, man. I'll be quick. And Walmart guy's like, no way, man. What are you doing? You can't be here. You don't have a mask on. You're refusing to use hand sanitizer on your hoofs. You're making the place look bad. You got to leave. Deer's like, screw you, man. You want to go? And guy's like, oh, yeah, I want to go. Oh, you answered the bell. He answered the bell, grabbed a hold of the deer, jumped on it, probably came off one of them stacks of Coca-Cola cans with an elbow right to the back of the deer. Deer goes down. Gentleman gives a big splash a la Jimmy Superfly Snuka back in the day, throws the deer out. It was amazing. Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air, because, around here, we love the audience participation. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. Change my mind. There is no UAP threat. Prove me wrong. Stirred this one up. John, they said it. Purpose and scope of the report is to submit an intelligence assessment of the threat posed by unidentified aerial phenomena and the progress the Department of Defense Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force has made in this understanding this threat. So just because they say it's a threat, John, doesn't mean it's a threat. You know what the threat means? It means money. It means dollar signs. It means unlimited budgets. That's why. That's why we're seeing it. When's the last time we saw an alien take down someone? Or a UFO? Look, I'm not saying all aliens are good. Do not quote me on that. Do not quote me on that at all. Not saying that. However, where's the threat? How many fighter jets have been taken down since 2004? If you want to call them a threat, let's be realistic. That's why they keep using China and Russia in this, John. Because threats mean money. Threats means new technology, new money for research. 26 trillion or 27 trillion annually isn't enough. We need more. Aliens and UFOs will do that. Let's go to Jeff. I feel like truly say there is no threat from UAP. We have to rule out the many stories of abductions where abductees have been traumatized. We can't really say until we figure out for certain what they are, where they come from, and what's their intent. Lori, no threat or a-hole humans would have been wiped out long time ago. Just teenage off-worlders playing around with their toys and hot-rodding around. All right, moving on. Jeff, define threat, Dave. Well, no, I asked the question, Jeff. I asked the question. Craig, as someone who has had the opposite experience you've had, maybe Gary Nolan? Joe, I don't care if it's alien or human. If someone comes into your house at night and takes you against your will, that's a threat. Gail, well, when unknown people enter your home uninvited, you have the power to overwhelm you and yours at any moment. Do not make their intentions known, as if it mattered once they are inside. May take you or members of your family, and pretty much don't care how you feel about the intrusion. This is a threat to everyone in the home. Cable guy Matt, if they wanted us dead, it would have happened already. Ray, dead people don't breed well. JJ, if they were a threat, we would not be here to talk about it. They could have wiped us out a long time ago. Penman, they did down about 215 of our fighter jets in the early 50s, but once we stopped shooting at them, they stopped taking out our jets. Maybe that's what we should do. We'll leave it right there. Thank you to everyone participating in the Thought of the Day. We'll do it all again next show. Thank you to Captain Shirk for the news and Dandi Meyer for hanging on out, talking aliens all night long. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking them in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight on YouTube, LGAB, Twitch, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, the Space Travelers Club, Facebook, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio.
I know you're out there somewhere.
Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends,
Make a mistake. We're watching.
we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night.